Three, two, one, and let's go.
Okay, hey guys, so we've been a bit off. We haven't had our schedules in order. As you can tell, last year we were posting every Saturday, right? But this year this is our second podcast of the year, Jason. This is bad.
Well, you just moved, so
Yeah,
and you didn't
I
have
didn't move.
internet,
Yeah, okay, I didn't
and
move. And then I
you have like four new schools.
yeah. But I think now we have things down. I've gotten all my schools, and yeah, we'll see how things go from here. So we can have a schedule ready, and from next month we can do it on a weekly basis on a regular schedule.
Yeah. That's as long as we just find a time that works for both of us. I think it'll be fine.
Mm.
And now that you've had time to adapt to a new schedule,
Yeah,
I think it'll be okay.
Very true. Yeah.
Anyway, how you doing? How you doing?
So far, so good. This week has been okay, just despite being late yesterday for work because of a silly error.
Mm-hmm.
But things have been good. Things have been good so far. Nothing to complain about. Nothing to whine about.
Anything else? What's happening outside of work? Anything new?
What has been happening outside of work? Yeah, so for since I came to Osaka, since the beginning of this year, it's pretty much just been work, home. I haven't been doing anything else. But I forgot. I was trying to turn some poetry into music with a friend.
Mm-hmm.
So we just recorded the poetry and did some audio editing and stuff, and he's going to work. He's still working on that as we speak, and we'll see how that goes.
Oh, yeah, that sounds interesting. I want to see how that turns out.
Yeah,
I have been on Tinder a lot.
On Tinder, yeah.
Yeah.
And what's happening on Tinder?
Japanese Tinder or Japan Tinder is okay. I don't but I have to tell it how it is. It's very weird, man. It's very weird. So for one, there's a lot of things that girls do. So in Japan, Tinder is used like, okay, from the Western side, Tinder is known for like being a hookup app, right? You get in there and you just want to get like laid real quick, right? For the longest time, that was the conception of the app. That was the overall, that was the public perception of the app. In Japan, even though they know that like Tinder can be used as like that hookup app, a lot of them use it as a friend finder. So there's this weird disconnect between the people. There can be a disconnect between the foreigners on there and the Japanese people, And there's lots of foreigners, but obviously there's more Japanese people. And you get a lot of people who are just like, can you teach me English type people, And it's just like, you wonder how many of these people are actually serious, or the teach English is supposed to be like that door opener, just the introduction to bigger things,
Okay, so I think the idea behind Twitter wasn't to be a hookup site, but to be a dating site,
Tinder.
a dating app.
Tinder.
Yeah, I'm saying the idea behind Tinder was to be a dating app,
okay.
Right? Not really a hookup app. But the thing is that when people go to the product, they use it for something else, right? I think that goes into the nature of the product, whereby it's just liking and disliking based on looks, because you're seeing a profile picture and maybe a short bio of the person, right?
Yeah.
And you just swipe up based on very limited data, right? And of course, if it's something based on looks, Jesus Christ, of course, if I'm going to like or dislike you based on your looks, then that means I'm just thinking about having sex with you. There's nothing. Why would I do that with anyone? I don't do that with my friends. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like this one because he looks funny,
You do have a good point.
Yeah, but I guess with Tinder just became that thing because of that aspect. It became a hookup app because of that thing of just liking or disliking people based off of their looks. And if you notice, I think it was a friend who was telling me that one of our friends was using Tinder, right? One of our mutual friends, and he was telling me that it's funny how on Tinder, Japanese women don't really post their face. They post picture of like food.
Yeah, that was the other weird thing, right? Like, there's so many weird things. So one of them was the whole I want a friend, I don't want to date, type stuff. The other one was just like, there's so many, either they have a lot of filters on their face to a point where it's just like, are you cosplaying? I'm not really sure what's happening here. Or they post pictures of food, and it's just like, what's going on? You know?
Now, there is another app. I don't know if it's an app or a website in Japan. It's called Pairs. P-A-I-R-S.
Oh, that one's a lot more serious, though.
Yes, no, that one is a real dating app. And actually, people who go on that app, they're looking to get married, right?
Yes.
And
it works. It actually works. I remember reading an article about it. There's lots of married couples that actually come out of that website.
Actually, like not only that, like one of my wife's friends actually got married through a similar app. I don't know if it was this app or a different one, but they met on the app, and 3 months later they got married, and now they have a kid who's older than Raha.
3 months later? Jesus! All right, let's not stop the love train. 3 months later?
In that situation, both of them just really wanted to get married, you know? Just like that was their purpose. So it's like, okay, like you, let's get married then.
I don't want to be that guy, but like, no, but if you really think about it, right? There've been so many arranged marriages in history, and people, there's got to be so many situations where people might not have liked each other in the beginning, or they just didn't know each other. Plain and simple, they didn't know each other, but they actually, through marriage and spending enough time with one another, they fell in love with each other. Isn't that weird?
I don't know about that because
it's probably happened, you know.
Yeah, I'm sure it has, but I think it's more common not for them to fall in love, but to just start to like each other, you know, to enjoy each other's company, you know, like just would you and I.
Yeah, you might not like love each other, but you still have a bond, right?
Yes.
Just through spending time with this person for a night. Yeah.
But I think so. So there's the period of romanticism, right? So Shakespeare and all these other poets and writers came up with the idea of like marriage for love. Of course, it was there before, but I think it wasn't really a common idea. I think most unions were either for starting a family or for helping or for bringing two families together, right? It wasn't necessarily because of love. And I think that's why now
in Europe is what you mean.
Even in Africa, for all I know.
I think Africa was a bit different.
No, I think
I think Africa must have been different.
Bro, I think Africa was for sure not about love. I think I'm almost 100% convinced. At least in Kenya, it wasn't for love, man. It wasn't for love.
Really? I think traditionally.
I'm not saying these days. I'm saying in the past, like before the white man came, you know.
Yeah. Even I think there must have been some people who married for love.
Yeah, I'm sure. Like I'm saying, they were there, but that wasn't the norm.
You don't think that was the norm?
Wasn't the norm. That definitely was the norm. Because it's like, if you're going to marry this person for love, did your parents approve of this? Did the society you live in, the village, approve of this union? Because if you're living in a small society, if you choose to marry someone, it's not just you two saying we love each other, we're going to get married. Everyone has to know about this and agree on this. Like this, I think the smaller the society, the less freedom the individual has. So I think
you mean the opposite? The smaller the society, the more freedom the individual has.
No. I think the less freedom the individual has.
How would somebody have less freedom in a village compared to somebody who like lives in a giant metropolis?
Let me give you an example. I can go outside right now, go to a bar, have sex with a random girl, come back home and not know anything about it. Can you do that in a small village?
Is that freedom though? That's
freedom,
so being anonymous, the anonymity, is that freedom?
That's very much freedom. Think, okay, another example, okay, something more real. Rising up the ranks in a place like Osaka, at least financially, will be easier than rising up the social ranks in a village of 100 people. Because the alpha is always going to be the alpha, unless he dies, you know, in a village of 100 people. But here, if I make money, I can make money, and the only proof that I have money is the clothes I wear and the cars I drive, right? And with that, I have financial freedom to live however I please in this place, right? But in a village of 100 people, the alpha is going to be the alpha until his death.
I really don't feel that's a fair comparison because one the in one society you have the level of the level of somebody's what,
Mhm.
so where they are in the social hierarchy is one side is determined by money, and the other side, like, it could be determined by physical strength, leadership,
Okay, okay,
competence.
okay, okay.
So I'm just like, how exactly are you comparing these?
Okay, so okay, maybe comparing money and physical strength is different. Okay. Okay, so here's the thing. In a big city, there can be many groups, right?
Mm-hmm.
In a village of 100 people, there can't be that many groups, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, let's use physical strength. In a city like Osaka with maybe 4 million people, I think,
Mm-hmm.
to be you don't have to be the alpha of Osaka City, you just need to be the alpha in your group, right? And
Okay.
that gives you a level of mental ease, psychological ease, right? To
Mm-hmm.
be up there within your group, not really not on top of Osaka City, but within your own group within Osaka City.
Mm-hmm.
But in a village of 100 people, no matter how strong you are, we know who the strongest person is, and unless you beat him, you're not up in his level, right? But in Osaka City, you can leave the group whereby you feel like I'm not rising up to the top, and join a group whereby I am at the top, right? So the psychological ease in living in the city. I can just switch groups if I feel like I can't keep up with those guys in that group. I can't be a Navy SEAL, but I can be a normal Marine.
So it's choice, is what you're saying. You have more
Yes.
choices.
So what's freedom with no choice? What's freedom with no choice?
Just because you have, let's say you have 2 options in the village versus the 10 options you have in the city.
Mhm.
So in the city you're more free. Is that what you're saying? Because you have
Yes.
10 options.
Yes. For better or for worse, we are more free in the city. Or not necessarily, just a bigger community, I would say, a larger community. Doesn't have to be a city, just a larger community.
I wouldn't describe it that way, but I understand what you're saying. I think you're free either way. I'm just like, so the number of choices have gone up, sure, but like I'm just like, you're free here, you're free there. It's just the number of choices have increased, really.
So I think, of course, your notion of freedom is influenced by the knowledge you have about the world, right?
Yeah.
If you live in a village and you have 2 choices, that seems like freedom, right? Because you only have 2, right?
Yeah.
And if you live in the city and you have 10 choices, that seems like freedom because, I have so many more choices than that guy in the village only has 2 choices. He knows nothing.
Yeah. Actually, that's why, like, for example, us in being in Japan, we can't necessarily. It'll be very hard for us to go back to Kenya, right?
Yeah. Too hard.
Because there's so many like luxuries and choices that we have here that we don't have back home.
Yeah.
And you go back home and there'll be so many things where you just go like, what the fuck? Right?
Okay, so we went off topic. So the point I was making is the idea of love and marriage. And I think in Africa, there's no way people are marrying for love, man. There's no way. I really, really can't believe that. I can't believe that. So we're talking like, so we're talking about the app, the Pairs app, right?
Yeah.
People who married through such an app, they're going into that app with the purpose of getting married, right? Not just dating and having fun, right? And I think the reason why divorce rates are so high in the modern world, in the Western world especially, is because Paul got married because of love without realizing that love can slowly fade away, right? So especially like if you marry at the height of like the climax of love, so like it's just going to be downhill from there. It doesn't get any better, But if your marriage was arranged, right, that means you've come here with no information, you know nothing. So it can only go up because every day is learning about the person, right? And that can be really interesting if that person is just a decent human being, or really frightening if that person is a monster, right? But with marrying for love, it's like you marry this person expecting that this feeling will be there forever. But more often than not, the feeling either just goes away or slowly fades away, right? And there was this really interesting podcast I was listening to whereby the host was saying that love exists out of space and time. This was before Interstellar. It was really a really long time ago. And he was saying love exists out of space and time because If
why,
I
why did you say this is before Interstellar?
because
I don't know
the
why you have
scope
to
was
preface that.
also in Interstellar, right?
Sorry.
The concept was also in Interstellar. The idea of love existing out of space and time.
Oh no, you're right. Actually,
Yeah.
sorry, I actually forgot about that film. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, so the reason why I really like that concept is because think about this. If you are dating a girl right now, right? Or you're married to a girl, and today you tell her, I love you forever, right?
Mm-hmm.
I love you forever. And 1 year later you no longer love her. Were you lying when you said you love her last year? You're not lying, it was true. But you just don't feel that way anymore. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I tell someone, like if I tell you, oh, I love you so much, and in 10 years I'm like, oh, fuck this bitch, leave me alone, you know? It's not like I was lying 10 years ago. I wasn't lying. I did feel that way, but I no longer feel it. And that's
So,
marrying for love. The feeling of love can't fade away, but marrying for duty, I feel that never goes away unless the duty is lost. Like marrying because you have a kid together, marrying because you want to bring your families together for business. I think that makes more sense in the long run.
so I just looked this up quickly while you've been talking, and it seems that you are mostly correct. At least I haven't found an article that disagrees with what you were saying. You know.
About what?
So it is common practice in Africa to combine. This is a bunch of articles I've been reading. So traditional marriage in Igbo land, right? Like if we take that as a case study, right? Igbo land is Nigeria.
Nigeria?
Where is it in Nigeria? South? Somewhere south. Yeah, somewhere south in Nigeria, right? And this is like looking at the evidence of marriage ceremonies before Islamic and Christian influences. Many of the communities believed in marriage as primarily sought after for procreation and providing for children, as this was seen as the foundation of society. They are
Exactly.
often encouraged against marrying for love or sexual attraction.
Exactly. There's no way in Africa
It was
people
pure
marry for love.
pure function. Marriage was just seen as a function for procreation.
Yeah. There's no way people are marrying for love in Africa, man. There's just no way. There's
But
no
you
way.
have so many love stories and so many stories about
Which
traditional
love
ones.
stories from Africa do you know, man? Which love stories from Kenya do you know?
I know a few.
Tell me one. You can't tell me no a few, but you can't tell me one. You know? Stop looking them up on the internet, bro. Stop looking them up.
No, I'm not looking it up. So my grandfather told me this story about. I can't remember it that properly, but like he told me about. This was a really long time ago. It was like a child story.
Mhm.
It was about a boy and a girl at a river. So the girl's on the opposite side of the river, and the boy is on this side of the river, and their clans are in different sides. So the whole story was basically trying to say how love I am so butchering it. I can't really recall it properly, but the point is that the boy and the girl they see each other every day. They exchange messages by throwing rocks and writing stuff on the rocks, and eventually they find out that their clans are actually at war with one another, and they run off with one another. I'm pretty sure the story ended in a much more happy way, but that was like, I don't know now what I'm thinking about. I don't know if the story was about love, but there was those elements of love within our folklore.
Yeah.
And if the folklore is like the lifeline of traditional cultures when it comes to like passing down cultural ideas, right? It's the like the blood. It's the blood of the culture. Then love as an idea of like, like being attracted to someone and like bonding with someone out of love. It was there. That's my point. It existed,
So listen to this. So I was looking about like the history of love in marriage, right?
Yeah.
And there's one interesting thing I've read. It says in Chinese, the word love does not apply to feelings between a husband and wife. That term is reserved for teenagers. When applied to older people, it is used in reference to an affair done in shame and secrecy. Think about that.
Yeah, wait. That's interesting.
Think about it. Yeah. So like even like this article, it's it's a very long. I can't read the whole thing, but it says like up until the last few centuries, it was not highly unusual, but also like so Kuntz, the one of some researcher, maintains that love in marriage is not nearly as universal as we might think. Up until the last few centuries, it was not highly unusual, but also considered a threat to the existing social order. Think about that. Marriage for love, bro, is a super new thing. It's a really new
So
thing.
biologically, it kind of makes sense
What makes
because
sense?
if you think about how we probably evolved, right?
Mhm.
Love is a complex feeling, right? It
Mhm.
probably plays on the higher levels of our brain.
Mhm.
Oh no, but monkeys and chimpanzees and
Bonobos.
other primates have been shown to like be able to like, I don't know if it's love, but they show affection for their partners. Is it love?
Yeah, so like I think man, even dogs show affection, bro. Like affection, like I
Wolves
think
too. Yeah, wolves,
I think
lions.
whatever we've come to think of as love, I think we've blown up the concept of love so much in movies, in our stories, you know.
I wouldn't say
But
blown up. I'd say our experience is a bit unique because
no, I mean
I
it's
think
unique
it's
because
because of our intelligence. Our
no, you see,
experience
like
is very unique.
this is what I always disagree when people talk about human intelligence. I disagree about the fact people say, "Oh, we are so smart." Compared to who?
No,
We are
well,
smart
when
because we're
someone
only comparing to
says
ourselves.
we're intelligent, what they really mean is that we demonstrate ways of thinking that other animals can't, or have not been
Okay,
shown
and
to be
okay,
able
so
to
like
demonstrate.
for example,
We can dream.
okay, like I don't know if researchers
There's lots of other animals that have been shown to have zero brain activity. Mammals, there's some mammals that do, obviously, but there's some animals that don't too.
yeah, okay,
We've been
okay,
shown to be able to one of the greatest abilities we've been shown to do is that we can think about the future. A human being can think about something 5 days in advance. That was like literally that has
that's
allowed us.
unfair, because like dogs bury bones and go and pick them up later. Like
We,
a few
we
days later.
our ability for that is far greater, Oscar. Like we can think
I mean,
a
yeah, I mean,
week,
like
a month, 10 years into the future. The idea
so
that
I agree with that, right? I agree with that. But this power is only useful for human beings, you know? Why are we saying we're so intelligent when it's only a thing? Like we don't brag about how like our how good we are at swimming, right?
yeah, because we don't need to. We build ships for
Exactly,
that.
right? Exactly. Monkeys and dogs don't think about 10 years ahead. So why are we comparing our intelligence?
No, but that's the thing. Like, this has allowed us to do things far greater than what an individual human should have been able to do. We've transcended. We've
So
transcended what many people would consider to be. I don't want to say biological limits, but we're transcending even that, like our biological limits, because it's like we're apes. Do you understand that it's a miracle that chimpanzees literally tear each other apart? The fact that me and you can sit in a room and talk and not rip each other apart, that is already a miracle.
That's unfair though, because humans also shoot each other in the head. Humans also shoot each other in the head, and
They do. But for the most part, Oscar, you can take a train for 2 hours, right? And you can travel a great distance with a bunch of people, right?
Yeah. So
and no one in that train, for the most part, will kill each other. That's already a miracle. A miracle.
No, I really think that's a silly argument because there's never an instant in time when a million chimpanzees are together, you know?
A million? Oscar, I'm talking about a train.
Yeah, okay, even like a train. There's never an instance when how many people in one train, like from Osaka to Kobe, I don't know. They're probably 100, maybe more, right?
Wow, you're being okay. Like the train could have even just 10 people. Like, it could also be a classroom, like one of our classrooms, a classroom of like what?
Okay, sure.
8 kids, 10 kids.
Let's even say 5 people, right?
My point is that it's amazing that even based off, we're able to transcend our base animal instincts to a point where we can show tremendous amounts of cooperation to build things that are far beyond any animal. We can build things and structures far beyond any other animal has been shown to demonstrate. That is my point.
I agree with you. However, that is just our swimming. That's just our swimming. Dolphins are not bragging about how good swimmers they are. So our ability to build things, that's just our swimming, you know? And fucking ants build just our swimming. It's just our swimmings, right? So why are we so impressed about something that only matters to human beings? The dog doesn't care about the plane. The fish doesn't care about your boat. Right? But it's like human beings, our ego is so large, we think, because we made rockets to go to space, look at how awesome we are. Like the rest of the universe cares about us doing this. And this thing, when we're actually building all these amazing things, laptops and computer and everything else we have, which, yes, I do enjoy my iPhone, but still, what other animal, what other creature in existence cares about my iPhone?
It's because we are. It's actually, I believe it's the opposite of what you're saying. It's because we are actually so normal in terms of like the animal. Like you look at the animal features, we're so average. We're basically our monkeys, right? That yet somehow this naked ass monkey was able to build, like you said, the iPhone, the naked, like build ships to be able to. We can't even, like, biologically we can't keep up with so many of these animals, but we can build things that allow us to compete with these animals. That is what actually makes us really amazing, and that is what we call intelligence.
Like you keep going back to the same idea. You keep saying that, look at us, look at what we can do, look at what we can do.
Yeah,
just it's the same thing as the dolphin.
Because this is basically what I'm saying. I'm saying any other animal can't compete with us. And that's why we can destroy the earth. We can make it in whatever image we want.
Okay. So it's like, it's fun. We can destroy the earth. Look at how awesome we are.
So here's the actual point. I think compared to other animals, humans are basically gods. That's the truth. There's a reason why. I'm pretty sure the reason why we even created gods in the first place is because we're able to see that element of, like, we can transcend the animal kingdom. That was the element of, like, I think even people, so people probably thought it was blasphemy at the time, or it's like, it was this weird concept of, like, how can I become eternal? Mm-hmm. I probably can't become eternal, or at least I don't know how to become eternal. So let's create this figure, right? This ultimate figure in the sky, and we'll push these ideas of how to become eternal in this, like, story, or in this, like, myth. And then from that point onwards, it was just like...
Yeah, I still don't agree with this idea that humans are so intelligent. I don't agree with this idea. I think we are out here, man. We just swim good in the world, you know? We swim good.
But then the problem with that is that, my problem with that is that there's just so many... It doesn't look at so many victories and so many obstacles that humans... Like, we're...
The victory is just for us. For us to see.
Yeah, that's still a victory, though, because it's our story.
Here's the thing, Jason. Imagine you want to go for a race, right?
Yeah.
And you're running so hard for this race, but no one else can see the race happening. No one cares about the race. It's just you in your own head, right?
Yeah.
It's a victory for you. Yes, for you, it's your own personal victory.
Yeah.
But for the rest of the world, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, right?
Which is still fine. I still don't get why you're like...
So that's my point.
It's still okay.
My point is, despite how intelligent we are, our intelligence is only impressive to the people that have it, to the beings that have it, right?
Uh-huh.
So, in honesty, we're not really intelligent. We're just what we were meant to be.
Up until we find aliens who can challenge our intelligence.
Yes, yeah. Of course, yeah. Even we find aliens, right? Even we find aliens. Human beings are just human beings, right? The dolphin swimming is just a dolphin swimming. Like, if the dolphins were to talk and start bragging about what a good swimmer it is, like, so what? That's what you're supposed to do, to swim. Right? And we build things, we innovate, right? And okay, so what? That's what we were designed to do, to innovate. Right? And
I think
So
we found we just developed the ability to innovate and adapt. It's I don't think we
I,
I think we had
okay, I
some
mean,
of
we
that
designed, we
ability.
developed the ability. I mean, we evolved this way. Whatever you want to put, whatever phrase you want to use, it's fine. The thing is, we innovate. That's what we do best, right?
Yep.
And it's because we can do that. It doesn't like I always go with the idea. Our intelligence is only impressive to the beings that have it, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure. I think. If a very big if a dog was able to compare its intelligence to a rabbit or a hamster, the dog will say, "Oh wow, dogs are so much more intelligent than hamsters," right?
Well, if it was truly intelligent, there would be an
Yeah,
argument there
if it was,
or
I don't know.
conversation.
Yeah, I don't know if it was right. If this was the case, but to the hamster, the dog's intelligence wouldn't matter, right? Because the dog is doing what the dog is meant to do, and the hamster, being dumb compared to the dog, is just doing what the hamster is meant to do. And humans, being as intelligent as we are, we're not really doing anything special other than what we're meant to do, or what we evolved to be able to do.
But
So there's nothing impressive about your baby one day standing up and walking.
but
It was supposed to do that. It
but
was
that's the
supposed to.
thing. There's a lot of things that aren't there's no inherent value in us having the great intelligence that we have.
Yes, there's no inherent, there's no value in it. There's no value.
That is
It's
to
just
say that human beings were surviving just fine. So why did we evolve to this level? Like we could have pretty much survived. Like we didn't have to build big cities. We didn't have to build cars and like whatever else we did build, right? We didn't have to build these big ass structures of
like
order. We were surviving just fine in small
I think the reason
villages,
we do
in
that
tiny
is
communities.
because things always progress. Things always progress. And when you if you live in a small community, someone or a group of people might have an idea to make like a better way of fetching water, a better way of producing food, and that's things just progress slowly over time.
Wolves
It's
are
not that
like, for
one
example,
animal
dogs and wolves have been around for hundred thousands of years, right? And the ancestors
so
pretty
like
much had the exact same like atomy and structure, right?
that's what I'm saying, right? We are doing when I say we are doing what we're meant to do, the innovation is what what we evolved to do.
And that's what I'm
Animals
saying. That
not
actually
evolved.
isn't inherently true, Oscar. Because when you
Why?
look, our like Neanderthals, for example, were no different from the apes we see nowadays. Can you see like somewhere along the way that what you're calling the ability to innovate?
Wait. You're saying Neanderthals are not different from the apes we see today. That's a lie. That's obviously a lie. That's
Okay,
not
no,
true at all.
they could build tools, but chimpanzees can build tools too.
No. They could even build settlements. Neanderthals, they're not like just monkeys, man. They're not monkeys. Neanderthals are not monkeys, man.
What was before Neanderthals?
I don't know. Fucking. I don't know.
Anyway, okay, so let's go 200,000 years back. 200,000 years back, human beings did not exist,
200,000
right?
years back, we were already here. We were already here 200,000 years back.
No, we weren't.
Yes, we were.
200,000 years, like we've been around
Very-
on this planet for approximately 200,000 years. So let's go before that.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, you know what? Let's even go back further, right? Let's go back to some of our deep ancestors, right?
Uh-huh.
They were comparable to apes, right? And they didn't demonstrate any more ability than the apes that we can see today, like any more like intelligence, any more like ability to innovate.
Mm-hmm.
You say that we were designed specifically,
We evolved to innovate.
and I would ask you, why did we do that?
There's no why. There's just it is.
Oh no,
It's
there
like,
is definitely a why. Like you can find reasons for why.
Why is the sun hot, man? Why is the sun hot?
You can find
Why is
reasons
it
for
hot?
why giraffes have such long necks.
I don't know why.
They
I can't tell you
develop long necks to be able to eat the fruits on big trees. Because in Africa, there are a lot of African plains. There's trees that grew for hundreds and hundreds of years, and they grew to incredible sizes. Actually, some of the trees nowadays aren't even comparable to the trees that were seen like thousands of years before. There's reasons. There's a reason because, like we know, creatures or species that don't adapt die out, right?
So I will ask the reason. Why did the giraffe? What was the giraffe the only animal to evolve to to try to get those trees.
It
Why
probably
didn't-
it probably isn't.
What do you mean?
It probably isn't the only one.
I mean,
There might be plenty of species that have evolved, died out, evolved, and died out, right?
Okay. Yeah, so like,
So,
So
like,
I will
so what I'm saying is that because there's no
There's a lot-
inherent value in our intelligence, because we
I agree, I agree
we already
that.
survived, right? If the ultimate game is survival, we survived, right?
Yeah,
Yet
I
we
agree
took
with that, I
it
agree
as we took a step further.
Mhm.
That is the idea of like, why did we do this? What was the point of this? It's the same question of like how you could ask somebody, why do you even dream, Oscar? Why do we dream? There's no inherent value for us dreaming. Our mind just takes a rest, right? That's the whole point mammals take sleep in the first place, to rest the minds.
Okay. So if you
Or
ask me
resets brain
why,
activity.
you keep going to like, why did we go beyond surviving?
Yeah.
Because like I'm saying, it's just innovation. It's someone just figuring out, oh,
What is
okay,
this
if we can
innovation you
survive-
talk about?
If we can survive, right? We survive. We are fine now, right?
Hmm.
We live in a village. There are no animals chasing us down. Okay, now I'm just here chilling. My mind is moving. I'm looking at the woman going all the way down to the river to fetch water.
But like
like,
what
no,
you said we're no different from any other animals. There's other animals that are chilling. They've been chilling for hundreds
Yeah,
and thousands of
but
years,
here's
but
the
they
thing.
haven't been seen to be innovating.
They are also innovating. Think about this. The wolf that came into the cave and realized if I stay with human beings, I don't have to go with
No. But you really that's the domestication. You've involved the activity of humans with its with how it's changed.
No, like here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. You call it domestication, right? But the wolf that came into the cave, it realized what was happening, right? It realized if I stay with these folks, I don't need to go there and run every night. Maybe it wasn't thinking like that, but definitely that occurred, right? At some point, the wolf came to the realization that staying with these hominids will mean not having to run around every day. Maybe it wasn't. Of course, it was that level of clarity, right? And look at cats. Look at the house cat. Where did that thing come from?
So, are you going to compare the growth of wolves being able to, let's say, bond with human beings compared to human beings living in caves to cities? Is that what
Yes.
you're saying? Is that
Yes.
comparable?
It's comparable because the wolf is doing what the wolf evolved to do, right? The human is doing what the human was evolved to do. It's of course it's not comparable if you're looking at on a scale of 1 to 1. Of course, a dog realizing I can eat from a bowl instead of going hunting is different from a human being building a skyscraper, right?
Okay.
But the
Okay.
dog eating, the dog just going to finding an easier way to eat. That's the best. That's the dog's idea of innovation, right? The universe of the dog.
I
That's innovation.
will agree with what you're saying. There's obviously change, right? Hence evolution, right?
Mhm.
Why have human beings been able to evolve at the pace at which we have been able to show? Why have we been able to grow and change and adapt and innovate at the pace that we've seen throughout history when there's no biological incentive behind it, right? It makes sense if there's a biological incentive because, again, if the survival of the entire civilization is hanging on the balance, then we're forced to do it, right?
Well, maybe there is another biological incentive. Maybe it's not survival.
And what is it?
Incentive. Maybe the incentive is just impressing other human beings, rising, being respected, being admired by other human beings. Maybe that's the biological incentive. And maybe the idea of being looked at as the leader.
That makes sense in today's
That is biological
society,
imperative. That is
but
actually
it doesn't
biological
make
imperative.
sense when when we were still in small communities.
But it does, because even a small community, someone wants to be the big dog, right?
When this community is like very small, you're basically all
You want
family.
to.
So at that
I
point,
mean,
it's like
even think about this, Jason. Even in your family, you want to do better than your brothers, right? You don't want to be the one who's lagging behind, right?
But
Or you
that
want
still
to-
isn't enough to explain the
I mean, but it
innovation in
It does.
like
Think about this.
agriculture, the innovation in
Now, I said that with agriculture. I said, I'm here chilling. We're not running from animals. I'm chilling, and I'm seeing people going all over the river to fetch water. and I'm just sitting with my thoughts, and my thoughts tell me, hey, what if I dig a hole down here? There's probably water underground. Just because I'm chilling, and maybe once I do that, people look up to me. Wow, look at what Oscar did. Now other young boys are like, dude, I want to be like Oscar and grow up. Look at the way the women keep following him around. So they look for ideas to innovate, because the biological imperative is to have people look up to them, to have the women chase them.
Okay, you've actually entered a very interesting idea.
Yeah,
I forgot the name of this theory, but the idea that ultimately selflessness doesn't really exist. We all do things, in the end, it's all selfish reasons.
I agree with that. I really agree with that. Definitely.
It's like the reason why you don't punch or like treat your neighbor in a negative or violent manner is that ultimately you'd be ostracized by the very society or the very village, right?
Yep.
So it is in your better interest, selfish interest, to not hurt your neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
And that, like, you just apply that to all the other different situations, right?
Yeah.
It's in your best interest to, I don't know what.
Yeah, so like, I think like the reason why we innovate this way is it's all biological, man. It's not just survival anymore, you know? It's not survival, it's just to be admired. It's to get the women, it's to have the other men respect you, to see you as the alpha. I'm talking as a guy, of course, So yeah, that's it. I think that's the reason why.
That's a very interesting idea.
And if it comes to that, then like really our intelligence means nothing, man. I mean, it means something to us because we're the ones who have it, you know. But it's just what we do. It's just what we do. So it's not that special in the grand scale of things. It's not special at all.
No. I still feel like you said like that, but I'm like, Oscar, that idea. I'm like, again, the level of the pace at which we can grow as creatures in this planet, because we came from the exact same Earth that these animals came to.
That's
but
all good. But Jason,
our infinity for growth is so ridiculous.
I agree.
It's
but
really
still,
is ridiculous.
Us, it will be something else, and that's been just the job of that thing. It's just we lucked out to evolve in this manner.
But like you said,
and even then, here's the thing, right? Even if you were born a dolphin or a dog,
no, you know, it's fine. We can stop actually, because I agree with what you're saying. Like you said, it's a faulty test. So let's wait until we see aliens, and then we can talk about this more. Okay? Maybe then with aliens, it's a much more fairer competition, right? Is that what you're saying?
What do you mean?
Because we're comparing. You said you can't compare yourself with like intelligence. Like you said, intelligence doesn't make sense if we're the only intelligent beings on the planet, right?
Like okay. That's not my argument. My argument is human intelligence only matters to humans because humans are the only ones who see human intelligence, right?
Our level of intelligence,
like just intelligence in general, like how we define intelligence. We define intelligence based on what is intelligence to us.
Hence why it's a faulty test, right? That's what I'm saying. Like if we need to meet other beings that are comparable to us in our definition of
you're already talking about meeting other beings who are comparable to us. What if those aliens' idea of intelligence is so different to ours that we don't even get it?
Yeah,
we don't even think it's intelligence anymore. It's not intelligence because we don't get it.
And we'd redefine what intelligence is at that time.
We wouldn't, right? Because
why wouldn't we?
We wouldn't, because it doesn't make sense. Have you watched the movie Contact?
Yeah. And
in that movie, when they meet the aliens, they don't even know what they're looking at. They don't even know what's there, right?
Yeah. And that's yeah.
Imagine that idea of intelligence, whereby right now we say we are so intelligent because we can build rockets, we can go to the moon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what if the aliens come here, and for the alien, whatever their version of intelligence is, the most intelligent being on Earth is an ant? Would humans agree with that? Would you think we would agree with that?
Hence why I said we'd have to redefine what we think as intelligence, like we always do.
Why would we redefine?
Because like you said, we're wonderful at adapting. If human beings meet the unknown, we will not stop until that unknown becomes known.
Yes. Now, but here's the
So,
thing.
like, we
Humans,
wouldn't stop
we-
until we can
here's the thing.
define this new concept, this thing that we can't
True,
describe.
true. But here's the thing, right? If these aliens come and tell us the ants are the special beings on the planet, right? Are the most intelligent beings on the planet, right? We wouldn't redefine our idea of intelligence because we don't get why they think ants are intelligent.
Hence why we would redefine something, Oscar. Because we have these beings that are obviously more intelligent than us, because if they're capable of interstellar travel and they're here and they're saying ants are the most intelligent creatures on this planet, we'll be like, wait a minute, what's going on here, right? We would really think about it. At least I hope we would really think about it.
I don't think we would. I don't think we'll change because we are.
Change is a very... I don't know about change, but I'm just saying we would really...
We'll need time, a lot of time, like eons, man.
Even that, I don't know about that, but I'm just saying, like, it would take us aback. It'll take us a minute. We'll have to take a pause. And then, anyway, like meeting aliens in general would pause our entire civilization.
The idea, like the recent, like scientific discussion on like plants communicating with, like trees talk to each other, or rather they communicate with each other.
They have ways of communicating each other.
So, like, if you go to a forest, right, underground, under the soil, there are these mycelial networks. Like, there's a network made of like, I'm just gonna call them like mushrooms, like roots or whatever, right? Now, underground, the trees through these mushroom roots talk to other trees, right? So, if one tree is being cut down through the mycelial trees, the one tree sends like some data, whatever that is, we don't really know, to another tree, kind of like a warning, something is coming, right? And this has been tested. I don't know where they were testing in California, so I don't know where they were testing, I'm not sure. But now this idea, which like the scientific community is starting to open up this idea, people who are vegans still don't want to agree with this idea, right? They don't like this idea because now it means they are also eating sentient beings, right? Now, if we can't agree that things that live with us are now intelligent, they communicate. We don't want to agree, but these are things that they are living with us. We cut them down and use them to build our homes, right?
Yeah. That's definitely, that's one of the weaknesses of one of the faulty ways we abuse this. I think it's the way of we think about. It's how we think about the individual versus the things around us. There's a faulty trap somewhere in like human code, as if what I call it, right? It's the same thing with racism. It's the same thing we use to justify slaves, right? In ancient societies, this person is different from us. We look at one specific aspect of our culture or of ourselves that is different from this person. Like, for example, I'm white. This person's black. I have guns. This person has spears. I am clearly superior, so this guy must be an animal. So it's okay if we take them and all in as animals, right? This thing is a tree. It can't talk. It's okay if I cut it down, right? So it's a weird trap that we always fall into.
Yeah, I think like, so I was listening to this one guy talk recently. I was talking to this guy recently, and he was saying that he was talking about the 7 deadly sins, right?
Oh yeah.
And he was saying like the biggest of the 7 deadly sins is pride, right? And that's the thing that all human, like as a species, that's what we suffer from, right? Pride. Look at how special we are. Man, look at us. We're amazing. And you know, it's like, it's funny, we look at guys like Trump and we say, oh, Trump is egotistical, right? He's a narcissist.
Well, he's only as big because like people want to be him. They want.
Yeah. I mean, like, what I'm saying is, as a species, we're just as bad as Trump. As a species, not maybe individually, there are people who are like Trump and people who are less so, right? But as a species, we're all just Trumps walking around.
And yeah, that's why I'm like, I agree, because there's a reason why Trump is that big, or he got as big as he did, because he was basically speaking to the Trump in us.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the American people who voted for him, they have Trumps within them, right? I just when I say Trump, obviously I mean with quotes, right? There are those ideas that Trump represents, and Trump was like vocalizing that they couldn't. And when he did, he was like, "Wait, this guy is just like me," or "This guy is the thing that I want to be," right? So I'm gonna vote for him because he's gonna change everything. He's gonna change everything in the vision, in this shared vision that we have. And the other half of America is like, what this vision that you guys are talking about is actually just an apocalypse. So one side believes the other's vision is the apocalypse. Basically, it will bring down the destruction and like the fall of their society.
Man,
and hence they fight.
We started this podcast talking about marriage, man. We're going so far.
I wanted to play one more game. I wanted to play a small game before we call it.
Okay, what game?
So I found this in another YouTube channel that I like watching. Is X stronger than a black hole? And it's very simple. I will give you a bunch of like things. I would ask you, is this thing stronger than a black hole? Right?
Okay.
The trick of the game is that stronger can mean many, many things, right? So it's up to you to define what you mean, what kind of definition of strength you use to compare the two, right?
Okay.
So I'll start with something simple, right? Oscar, is a sandwich stronger than a black hole?
Yes.
Right off the bat. Okay, so sandwich, right? Sandwich, black hole. You choose sandwich, right?
Yeah.
Okay, why sandwich?
Because I can eat a sandwich, and that makes me feel happy. That's strength to me. You can make me happy. You're my strength.
Okay. Straight off the bat, you're just choosing sandwich. Okay. I think you're one of the first people to do that. Okay. Next. Is a large rock, like a very large rock, something that you can't pick up, is that stronger than a black hole?
Nope. No.
So you're choosing black hole on this one?
Yeah. Yes.
So 1 point X, 1 point black hole. Why black hole?
Because the black hole will probably swallow up a big rock, and I don't care so much about big rock. So if it's swallowed up, it's not on my business.
It's interesting how you went from like, oh, I can eat a sandwich, so that's stronger. Now we're going to like actual like physical. You're describing the physical properties. Okay, that's interesting. It's fine. It's all you, so it's okay. So okay, 1-1. How about Donald Trump? Is Donald Trump stronger than a black hole?
He is. Definitely.
Okay, why? Why would you say that? Yeah.
Okay, now strength here is about like social impact, right? Societal impact.
Okay.
We discovered a black hole. Was it last year or the year before?
Yes. We discovered an actual black hole. Up until then, they were just like
theories, right? And so like we discovered this black hole. And it's like we talked about it for like a week, 2 weeks, and now it's like we don't even think about it anymore. It's gone. It's like so what? But Donald Trump is out of the office. We're still talking about him. What he's gonna do next? Will he try to be president again? So I think Donald Trump is societally stronger than a black hole.
All right, that is an interesting comparison. I do agree with what you're saying. So X has 2 and black hole has 1. Okay. Is Brad Pitt stronger than a black hole?
He is definitely more handsome than a black hole. Is Brad Pitt? Yeah, he has some great movies. I've not seen some great movies about. I've only seen one good movie about a black hole. So, like, I'm gonna say Brad Pitt is stronger.
Brad Pitt is stronger. Okay. All right, we're gonna get a little bit interesting here. Is a black hole stronger than a black hole?
That's unfair, man.
What do you mean?
They're equal.
Equal? You sure about that?
I don't know. Are there black holes that are bigger than other black holes? I don't know.
Okay. So you say
equal.
So 1-1?
Yeah. 1-1.
Okay. And last one, is water stronger than a black hole?
If a black hole can swallow up light, I think it can swallow up water too, right? I mean, if it can swallow a planet, it can swallow water. So I think, yeah, black hole is stronger.
Oh, wait, that means we're draw, right? If I'm keeping
Really?
count right. Wait, you said Brad Pitt won Donald Trump. Wait, did you say Brad Pitt or Black Hole? I can't remember.
I say Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt. One. Oh, no, X wins. I'm pretty sure X wins.
Mm.
Ah.
What do I get?
You get an emoji full of love and hugs.
Jesus
Because
Christ.
you win. Yay. But, you know, it's interesting to see, to hear how you're like constantly like thinking of the idea of strength while comparing these two random things, you know? That's
okay.
That's very cool, Oscar. And oh wait, I have one more actually for you. It
Okay.
fits perfectly with the overall talk that we had, and it brings everything into a full circle. Is love stronger than a black hole?
Yeah, like I said earlier, like if love exists out of space and time, I think then love is definitely stronger than a black hole.
So Oscar Ruta believes. Here we go. Oscar Ruta believes love is stronger than a black hole. The poet himself has said.
Yeah, because love is biological, right? And that biological feeling comes and goes, but when it's there, it's very strong, right?
Okay. I didn't I didn't expect you to get all objective about it. I wanted you to romanticize it a bit, but you were just
I don't need to because like it's powerful enough on its own. It doesn't need to. You don't have to make it romantic. It's powerful enough when it's there, you know.
Jesus. Okay. That's actually romantic when you say it like that.
No, it's not even romantic. Like even like when Raha was born and I was crying, that was love. You know, I didn't have to try to cry. Actually, I was trying not to cry, but I was crying. You know.
Oh, so love was so powerful, you couldn't even hide from it.
Yeah, you can't even hide from it.
You can't hide from its light.
Yeah,
it was too bright.
It's like what's Lot's wife turning back and looking at Sodom and turning into salt, you know? That's what love is. You looking back and saying, no, I didn't turn into salt, motherfucker. You turn into salt, man.
Oh my god, that analogy was perfect, Fede. What a perfect analogy. Alright, Oscar, final thoughts.
Yeah. Final thoughts. Oh, someone has come. Thank you. We'll have to talk later. Bye, Jayson.
That's how you say bye? Okay, that's how we're gonna end it.
No, just don't cancel the call. Just end the podcast. I'm coming back.
All right. As usual, thank you so much, guys, for giving it a listen. Like we said earlier, like in the beginning of the episode, we're still trying to figure things out. Oscar just moved. There was a period he didn't even have internet, so we're working through all of that. And right now, we don't really have a schedule. This is the first time that we're trying to do this and like get back into like releasing this on a weekly basis, because that was the goal, to release this on a weekly basis. So from here onward, we'll just try and we'll try to keep the schedule and trying to see how far we can go with this one, and I was able to find a nice platform to host our episodes and have an RSS feed. So now with that RSS feed, we can now upload stuff to like our episodes to Spotify and iTunes and all these other big platforms. Right now I'm actually going through the approval process of the platform. And then after that, we have to get Spotify has its own approval process too. So I haven't finished uploading all the episodes. I've only uploaded 3. They have to approve every episode first. And when that's done, we'll go to Spotify first. We're gonna go on Spotify first, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Then, things are looking up. It's 2021, bitch, so fuck. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye. Thanks, David.
Bye-bye, Oscar.